Hello, somebody has very politely asked me to post a video about how a recall works. All right, so before we do anything, I want to make something really clear. Recalls suck. I gotta tell you, the amount of painstaking time it takes to go into putting it together, the preparation, the paperwork, the legalities of it, you name it, just everything. It really and truly is a time-consuming pain in the ass. So before someone undertakes this, you really want to make sure that whatever someone has done to merit that kind of scrutiny, you want to make sure it's documented. In the last recall, this district got involved with saving Jan Pizzi's behind along with the original recall, and a lot of people don't know that. Now, she can come on here and say whatever she wants. We've invited her dozens of times to defend her stance, and all she has is, I'm a liar, I'm wrong, I don't know what I'm talking about, I falsified this, I lied about that, and blah, 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 blah. Let's make this clear. In the original recall, it was 3 votes. If it wasn't for the staff of Woodman Hills helping her, she would have been out the door, straight up. This whole thing started because of the YMCA leaving. She said she could run this district better, and over the years proved false. So anybody wants to blame anybody for the current park and rec situation, you only need to turn to Janice Pizzi and the story. Everybody knows it. It's common knowledge, kind of like what Makita was doing. Except the difference was she had a big bully husband who's an ex-cop that likes to intimidate people. He tried to intimidate me. Unfortunately, being from that area, I really took it with a grain of salt, right? And now, this is why the legal action that's coming. So, and that's why I want to go to court. Let's just get it out there, right? Let's find out where the chips are and the hidden bodies and the skeletons and all that stuff. Now, I've been on or trying to get back on the Nextdoor, and I'm working on that now. Unfortunately, well, they received a really great few letters, apparently, or whatever. They received documents about me and a bunch of other stuff they're now investigating about this whole Nextdoor situation. So there's going to be a resolution of that coming pretty quick. The information I want you to know is this. Mrs. Pizzi told this district and its people that she could do a better job running the park and rec than the YMCA. No. History has proven that's not the case. We can't even keep the buildings open claiming, oh, we just want to cut costs. No, not here to cut costs. In the service plan, it says you're going to keep the buildings open all day long. That's what a lot of people need to remember. Them cutting the hours, 20 hours a week, shows they can't financially and responsibly run this building, but they can sure as hell come up with $500,000 of voted on money to fix something that, just for the record, could have been paid for with CTF funds. See, that's what I would have done. I didn't know they had that kind of money. Over the years, they've let the building fall into dilapidation for failing to maintain it, so now telling you they need to do all these things. No. They could have kept all of this stuff in good repair and good working order with all that money. And then trust me, it's a lot of money. A lot of money. Instead, they came out and said, we don't have money for this or that. That was false. It was a lie. Straight up lie. Those CTF funds have been around for ages, and we qualified for them. Okay? What they did is all in the record books and the story. Okay? When you hire someone that's a nepotism hire and they don't want to turn over records, they're not being transparent. That is recall issue number 1. That's it. Done deal. Regardless of whether I have the records or not, I can prove I didn't get them. They're going to have to go to a hearing. When this hearing comes up, the recall hearing, and I'll explain how that all works, you're going to have to do that before then. But that's if the issue on the recall document is what it's going to be about. This time, it's a little bit different. Okay, let's get on to what's going on. Mrs. Pizzi, who is not the chosen one when it comes to communication, is on Nextdoor telling people all these fallacies. Not going to happen. False narratives, all these things, and they're going to come to the board meeting and then jump all over me, which I expect them to do. I want you to. That's what I've been doing the entire time. I post something on my website, you come back with your little jabs and barbs and talk about all this stuff. Now people are starting to catch on because I'm not getting aggravated. I'm not getting upset. That's killing your entire narrative. You expected me to come out and get upset and make threatening statements. No. I'm just like everybody else. But you want to put out that false narrative that I'm a molester, a rapist, a criminal, a felon, a stalker, and all these things. So everybody goes, oh, it's Ron. No. Case made, regardless. When I first came here, I had an old criminal record and a restraining order from something I did wrong. That's it. I did wrong. I quit drinking as a result. I stopped cheating on my old lady, which was my mistake. Okay? I screwed up. Done. So those two things I took care of. It's when I came here that I had the 25 to 30 plus civil and criminal issues after, right? Now they tried to hold some other stuff against me that, quite frankly, was intentionally done so they could do all these things. And then it was all disproven in a court. They don't want to tell you that. Then they hired Daniel Cole to put out the fires, it's in his contract, to put a great spin on all this stuff and come out here and communicate. That's what he does. But Daniel Cole will be out of here on a rail when this all goes down. Because the man that basically tutored this guy is talking to me. Let's get on with the recall stuff. We asked this district to change a simple agreement to use the Park and Rec and remove all of the negative stuff in there. That stops people from wearing certain clothes, talking about certain stuff, letting your kids use the facilities, wearing tank tops and leggings and music and speech and using the facilities. All this stuff was done by Janice Libble-Pitsey while she was on the board. That's a fact. They said that they had their reasons for doing it. Oh, because a certain few people didn't like the way people were wearing tight clothes. Hey, guess what? When people are working out, when girls are working out, when women are working out, educated women, smart women, self-confident women, they want to wear jeggings and leggings. Who am I to say no? Okay? That's their right. They want to wear a tank top as long as they're covering up their stuff. That's their right. Who are you to tell people what clothes they can wear and what speech they can use? That's what Woodman Hills did. Then they went out and put a little disclaimer in their stuff that says, no matter what happens to your family, we don't care about your safety. You're up until your kids and your family getting injured, maimed, and up to loss of life and limbs and all these other safety matters, even if it's our fault, we fail to maintain the facilities, you're not covered. I'm against that. They're for it. We asked them to change it. They said, up yours. Right? No, not me. Not up yours. You're paying the bills. You have that right. Don't you want to feel safe? So to all those people out there that thought I was the bad guy, no, I'm the guy that cares about your family. Really cares. I put my money where my mouth was. I told you what I was going to do, and they couldn't handle it. So did they change the rules? No. They don't want to change those rules. They want to control your speech, your clothing, your freedom, where you go, what your kids do, how you can act, where you can go, the whole 9 yards. No, not me. You're paying for the right to use that facility. As long as you're not acting a fool, then you have a right to use it, because everybody's different. That's the good thing about America. One big melting pot of good people, right? Regardless. Now, it's us against them. It's me against them. I've shown you who I am. They hate it. They can't stand it. You might actually like me, and it's pissing them off because they can't continue to put up a false narrative. Recall. Set up a committee. The committee then sets up the petitions. The petitions get sent to the district. Then, once they're approved to form, you collect signatures. Then those signatures go back to the court. Then they take those documents and go back to whoever the DEO is who's going to be sponsoring the election, and it will not be Connie Goodwin, because I'm going to immediately file for a motion to have her removed as the DEO, and then go from there. 300 legal signatures of elected officials or people that can vote in, I didn't mean elected officials, electors in this district. That means legally registered voters in this district that can vote. That's it. For each person. You always try to get a lot more. Collecting the signatures has never been the hard part. You get to meet people and talk to them, and then you're going to hear the usual, oh, he lied, you can't trust him, and all that. Here's my apology to Amy Smith one more time, Jan. I was in the hospital. You and your cronies in the district, including Lisa Peterson, gave out protected personnel information about people so you could win your recall. The only mistake I made was putting stuff on a flyer that was not supposed to be used in that hearing, but Wayne Williams allowed it. It was what was on the petition that mattered. Wayne Williams expanded it because Wayne Williams is good friends with all the rich people, just like it showed in the CRRG case. That's why I don't like Wayne Williams. He's nothing but a GOP buddy that helped out his buddies. And his buddies were the people on the other side of those flyers. Everybody, you need to know that. That is a fact. They contributed to his election. End of story. You want to call me a liar or say I'm not telling the truth? I'll be happy to pull up your records. You got to know how far this goes, folks. It goes right up the chain. Now, recalls are really simple. The reason I ask for circulators is because, well, I'm older now, and I don't want to walk out there and get all the signatures. Now, don't worry about that. There'll be meetings. We're going to actually hold those meetings over at that rec center that they say we can rent. So we're going to rent it. I'm going to prove another point, okay? Because we're allowed to use that facility. I'm going to rent that facility so we can have our meetings in our community. That's our community rec center. Doesn't belong to the board, doesn't belong to Janice Pitsy or her husband or anybody else. Once that's done, then we're going to go from there. Now, we've made some pretty small demands in the past, which was to fix things in the favor of the community. You didn't listen. So now we have to take the next step. The next step is to give this community back to the community and not the people that have been running it for 9 years and telling you that I'm the worst thing that ever walked the planet. I'm almost like Trump. I don't call myself the Black Trump. I'm like Trump in the fact that you have to follow the law. Politicalness isn't working anymore. And that's what needs to change. That's why a lot of people are attacking our president. And that's why I like him. He's not a politician. I'm not either. You can't buy and sell me. Okay? Now, that's all I wanted to say today. The rest of this information on here is I agree that we should have a pay-per-use system. I agree that the transparency is gone and needs to be brought back. I agree that the board that was put in place by the developer for the developer on behalf of the developer is what happened. And the statements by Mrs. Pitsy on my website and other websites about her involvement with the CRRG are false. You were on the board. You were found to be on the board. You even said that Mr. Green asked you to be on the board, your buddy, okay? You were not found guilty of not paying a fine. What you were found guilty of is express advocacy to come after me again. You were found guilty of not filing for a committee, not filing for the contributions and expenditures, and that's where the fine came from. Done. That's it. It's forever in record. That's why Mr. Pitsy is so pissed off, because that lawsuit was a big punch in the face to his wife, who's been running and controlling everything for the last 9 years. That's why they made her a special consultant. That's why he's pissed off at me and wants to sue me and take me out. And I'm sure a few other things. So that's where we're at. Once we gather petitions and all that goes through, they have a hearing time. This hearing will be a little bit different because you know what's going to happen in this hearing? We're going to dot the I's and cross the T's, and I will be there. Okay? Even if I'm bleeding out on the floor of a massive heart attack and a widowmaker, I will crawl to that hearing. I promise you that. Okay? Now, for the people that said they want to sign, well, just get ready to sign. All right? But I want to let you know that people in this community do share a common goal, and it's not the vision of this board, who was appointed, by the way. Lynn Bliss already admitted she made a mistake. Her husband made a mistake. Hey, that's water under the bridge. And what happened to Jim McGrady and Gene Cozzolino is not going to be unforgotten. The past people that came here, not going to be unforgotten. Mrs. Pitsy, you have proven with your actions that you do, in fact, control this district. And that's why your husband wants to cave my skull in. I get it, Anthony. It's not a problem. I come from the same neighborhood, you know what I mean? So when you drag me into, let me use a little New England, when you drag me in a cart and you're going to be in front of the judge, just remember this, I come from the same place. See, I can undisguise my Boston anytime. I just don't like yours in it. So when you drag me in a cart and you want the cops to kick my ass, guess what? Good luck. Asked you to do some things. We were reasonable about what we asked for. You didn't make the changes. Done. Actions, not words. Our district, not yours. Not Green's, not Case's, not a Pitsy. Ours. Okay? How unreasonable do I seem now? Thanks for stopping by. And you guys have been awesome. Thanks.